I got a bone to pick with this car.
What could you possibly pick with this car? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Two Car Guys. Welcome back to our F1 episodes. And welcome back to Conversation with Adam and John.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Formula One is here. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite. So, F1 Liveries, man. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about F1 Liveries. Before we get into it, like we say in the beginning of every episode, if you haven't done it already, please like, share, subscribe.
Push that button. Microwave
We've
oven.
got a lot of F1 content coming up this year.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that you guys click the notification, click the bell, so you guys can be in front of it as well.
Join us.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So let's take a quick step back, right? I was trying to think about this earlier today. Is there another sporting event, right?
Okay.
Now, I do know that you have like the ESPYs and you have some, after like the Heisman Awards and stuff like that. But I've never seen anything that's on this level where they had like this much showmanship and
Oh my God.
artists and, lasers and everything. It was crazy.
When this thing started up, I was at work, right? And I'm watching it. And all of a sudden, it's like a rock show. And I'm like, I wasn't prepared for that. Let me turn the volume down on everything. Okay, let me get in this gear. And then after the rock show, the first car comes out, and oh my God, did they put on a show?
Yeah,
and it was blown away by this, man.
It was crazy. Now you gotta remember, this was at the O2 Arena in London. It's not a small place, right? And they usually do like concerts and crazy stuff there. So this was already a huge forum to have this in there.
Yeah.
And you were working. I was actually snowboarding at the time, so I had to go back and rewatch it. What was really funny was, just to catch up, I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights that F1 had put on YouTube.
Right.
And the highlights that F1 had put on YouTube, it's interesting who they chose to focus on.
Okay, so I haven't watched the highlights. I just watched the whole thing.
We'll talk about that when we get there, but it's interesting who they chose to focus on, because you're like, okay, this is crazy.
Here's Lewis Hamilton. Oh,
right.
He's with Ferrari now.
Right. So just little stuff like that. But so they do the intro for 75 years of F1, right?
Okay.
They get everything going. They get everybody pumped up, and they basically work their way from the back of the grid to the front of the grid, is what I noticed.
Yeah,
right?
I noticed that as well. Yeah.
So the first car to roll out was the stake Sauber car.
Yes.
Kick Sauber.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, my issue with this car is going to be a theme during this episode.
Okay.
I'm just telling you right now.
What's your problem with it, man? I think it's a good-looking car.
It is a good-looking car.
Okay.
But 50% of it is exposed carbon.
Okay, so I think they did better this year than last year with the exposed carbon, which we're getting there. I still wish they'd go back to the gloss paint. I want to see a shiny car coming through.
They're not
Everything
going
is matte paint because of the weight.
The weight savings, right?
Oh my gosh, make everybody do gloss paint and make it pretty.
I honestly think,
man.
I think that the car should weigh a certain amount, and then you should be able to paint it after that.
That's what I'm saying.
You
like,
have
come
to
on,
submit
man.
it raw, and be like, this is the weight of the car.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But then one guy'd cheat and just do like a layer of gloss and no paint. It'd just be carbon and gloss.
Yeah. It's just great, but when you think about F1, every little gram counts. Every little gram matters.
They're like, did I pee before the race? That could be the winning.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. It could be the difference. That's why. What's his name? Carlos Sainz should have been disqualified last year because they took out. His
appendix. Yeah,
they took out his appendix, and so he was lighter than all the other racers.
I mean, that's
it was
when
unfair.
He started winning. I was like, wow, gets his appendix out and wins a race. Everybody's going to be in the hospital next year. I got to get it out. It's got to go, Doc. Got to get rid of it now. I'm telling you, man.
But I agree.
I liked it. I like
the thing I'll say about the Kick Sauber car is I like the fact that it is, when you're looking straight on at it, it's green. It looks nice. Monster. I do like the car, but it's almost as if they seem to be trying to put a little bit of green or a little bit of colors on these cars, and then just as much exposed carbon as they can possibly have. And the problem I have with that is, so last year was worse, right? Last year I felt like so many of the cars, I felt like so many of the cars looked exactly the same. So this year seems a little bit different, but can we just all agree before we get into all this that it's not like we saw any liveries this year that were like, oh my God, that was completely unexpected. I didn't expect to see that.
I agree with that. And there was nothing we saw that we're going to talk about in this video that is like, wow, is that a change?
Yeah.
They brought something new to the table.
Right. No, they did a Wolverine livery for the VWT car, right? That didn't happen.
Like, my thing is, like, for instance, Williams, I think one of their big sponsors is Gulf Livery.
Don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead. We're still focused on steak.
Sorry.
So with steak, you had Nico and you had Bortoletto, right? And they both came out, and it was interesting to kind of see everybody had their own presentation. Everybody had their own story.
Well, they were also very different in how they approached that story, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat because it wasn't like the exact same thing on repeat. Like, here's the car. We're going to talk about the car, and then we're going to, dismiss it and bring the next car. Yeah. It was very much every one of them had a different way to approach what they were delivering, and I think they all kind of executed it very well.
Yep. So I agree. I agree. But yeah, we'll see as we get in here, and at the end, I think you and I should pick our favorites, right?
Okay, cool. I'm good with that. One thing I will say, if this thing pulled up with all that exposed carbon at Cars and Coffee, everybody loved that thing, man.
Okay. I will agree with that. I will agree. I will concede to that because I love carbon fiber.
This man is the carbon fiber.
I do like a bit of carbon fiber.
He's all about the carbon fibery, if you will. It's the finest Chinesium ever made.
My motorcycle has carbon fiber all over it. I love it. It's awesome.
Who would have thought? Anyways, awesome. Moving along. Next car. Let's go.
So the next car on the list is the Williams, and I will tell you the Williams racing intro.
Oh.
To see Frank Williams and to see all that history.
That was cool, man. That was heartfelt.
Cool.
That was cool. That was absolutely cool. Yeah.
But you know what else? It was kind of sad at the same point because the very end of that was the guy at the start finish line. He's jumping up and down. He's waving the flag, all excited, for the race. And you're like, man, that was the last time that they won anything. That was the last time that they were a contender.
But I think this year could be different than most.
I hope so. I think they've got
a star driver. They have two really good drivers. Yeah. But they have a star driver sitting in that car. If they produce a good enough car, man, that car is going to be dominant. I would like to see that.
I will say with the livery this year, they still have the Duracell battery on there, which I like. I think that's kind of cool.
It's neat.
I saw the show car, if you will, last year at Vegas.
Right.
It had a lot of yellow on it. I didn't really care for the yellow accents. I really like this livery because I like
that they added a lot more blue to it.
Yeah,
and got rid of a lot of the
fade to light blue. I kind of like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a really good look. I wish they would use one of their biggest sponsors and come back out with another car, and that's the Gulf livery. I love that spec on the car.
They might, and they might do that later in the year.
Williams, hear me out. Just do it. Do it for a race for us all. We all want it. Everybody needs it. Bring it back.
I do like the Gulf livery, the light blue and the orange.
So cool, man.
You just want it because you have you have the matching watch.
Absolutely. I would have a car in the Gulf livery spec. That would be the wrap I would wrap a car in. I love that look.
Ford GT in a Gulf livery spec is one of my favorite favorite combinations.
But it's all really good color combos. Yeah. It's my favorite color orange. It's my favorite colors of blue, which is dark and light. And it's great. It's perfect. All right.
All right. So moving on. Okay. So this launch was actually kind of interesting. The Racing Bulls, the RB Cash App, as we like to call them.
Yes.
The Visa car. So these two cars, which are kind of the lower teams on the totem pole, they had probably some of the most paint on the cars between the Williams and the Cash App.
Right.
I actually really like the RB car.
So the RB car is cool. I like that they have the bull on the top of it.
Yeah.
And they did a lot more white. I think that's just a good look.
I agree. I love it. And I like all the little
name
bowls
is
in
always,
it everywhere.
they're always playing with the names.
Don't worry about the name.
We're finally to a name that I think is matching. We're the Racing Bulls now, which I think is cool. The whole Visa Cash App, all that. Visa is definitely on this car.
Yeah.
But the look is good.
I don't know if you caught it,
like it.
But they said when they were doing the interviews and doing the mic and everything that they're focusing a lot more on fan experiences this year.
That's super cool. I mean,
they're going to have
really
a lot more fan interaction, a lot more fan experiences. Yeah. I think that is really cool, especially for people who are, doing what you and I are doing.
Sign me up. Let's go. Oh, we're in.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a fan.
That's right. I'm hoping that this is good for us, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's super cool, man. And I think that car is going to look good on track as well. I really
agree.
Do.
Yeah, I think it'll look good. I think it'll look really good on track.
All right.
The next car in the group is the Haas.
Dude, that's a good looking car.
I wanted more red.
I like it, man. I like that they brought more white on the side pods. They went a little bit crazier with everything. I like it. I think it looks good. I just wanted to put a giant American flag on the side of it and say, "Let's go."
I would love to see an American flag on the car somewhere.
I would love
it's the only American
have
team
it on there, but I wish they'd put embrace it, make the whole car red, white, and blue.
I'd actually be really happy. You know how from the back of the cars you can see one of the sponsors,
right?
I'd be really happy if the whole back of the DRS was all the American flag.
That's going to be Cadillac. Let's just call it today. That's Cadillac.
It probably will be.
Yeah, I hope we go back and we're like, that it happened.
They did it. They did it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
So the next car in line is the Alpine. I mean, I'm not shocked, right?
Yes, not at all.
It does have a fair amount of color to it, so it's not. But it's just the pink and the blue and
the color blue that they chose is good. I'll give them.
That's the Alpine color. So if you were to buy an Alpine A110, it's in that color.
And I like that. I think it's great. But obviously the BWT, they demand that the car has a massive amount of pink on it, and they did that. For sure.
They did. And I will tell you, it seems to bring, some of the, I was talking to somebody the other day that had a younger daughter that was starting to get into F1 with their dad. She's like, I want to see the pink car. I want to see the pink car.
I'll say this.
I'm for that.
When it was Racing Point and it was all pink, you knew that was Racing Point and that was the car. And, that kind of, to me, defined that car because it was outside of its normal, and then it kind of grew into it. But then now that that's changed over to Alpine, I'm just like, you took a good looking car and made it pink.
Yeah, but it's only Alpine for one more year. So
yeah, well, that's true. And then we'll see what kind of pink Audi we're going to see on the track.
Let's see what happens with it. I'm not in love with the design. I don't mind the colors. It looks very, very. I mean, they did the halo. They did the ends of the fins. They put BWT on the side.
Right.
It doesn't look like they put a lot of effort into it.
Right. Now.
So.
All right.
Aston Martin.
Both big Aston Martin fans.
Huge.
For the brand, for the car, for James Bond, and all of that. I got a bone to pick with this car.
What could you possibly pick with this car?
So, all right, tell me this. You are Lawrence Stroll. You own Aston Martin, the brand, the car company.
Yep.
And you are gonna start your driving thing with two boats in the water, fighting back and forth to start something, and then they jump in the air, and then the guys land, and then they come out in their suits. I don't understand the boat thing. Use a cool car that you have and do some kind of cool driving thing with that, because this is about racing,
right?
And then go into that. The James Bond nod was cool.
Let me defend it. The two boat thing is from the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie.
Okay, that's cool. I'm with that.
Yeah,
but
is it the best ever? No. I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen more of the DB5 racing through the hills.
Yes. Yes.
And then some kind of like craziness or
even your new cars, the Vanquish or the Valor or something, and seeing that thing through the hills. That would have been amazing.
Aston Martin marketing. If you were listening right now, I'm putting this out in the stratosphere, and I'm just telling you that you guys are free to call me, and we can work a deal. But
we'll work a deal.
So if you remember, there's a James Bond, one of the James Bond movies. I want to say it was Quantum of Solace.
Yes.
And James Bond goes through the tunnel in a DBS.
Yes.
Right. And you see the car come through the tunnel. You see images of it, through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then it comes out the other side, right?
Right.
How cool would that be if the car's driving around that
through the tunnel?
The ring road. It's driving up toward the tunnel, and you can see very clearly it's a DB5.
Right.
And you're getting all the noises from the DB5, and it goes through the tunnel, and you get flashes of the cars. It's going through the tunnel,
growing in the,
and it comes out the other side
as
and
a
it's
Formula One
like
car.
it's like their Valor, right?
Yeah.
Or their not the Valor, but the Valor would be a cool car, but it comes out the other side as like a Vanquish,
right?
Yeah,
of course.
And then you get all the noises from the new Vanquish, those V12 noises,
absolutely.
And then it could like maybe turn a corner and go through the other part of the tunnel and come out as an F1 car in Monaco.
That would be sick.
And be like doing the corners in Monaco.
Instead, we got two boats in AI form driving through the whatever that was, and then shooting some rockets. I don't think they killed their target, and then they jumped the boats, and they
really wanted it to have.
I didn't understand it.
I get it, but they really wanted to have a very James Bondy theme, which is kind of funny because my understanding from the folks at Aston was that they didn't want to be seen as the James Bond car anymore. They wanted to be seen as, a real competitor for Porsche and Lamborghini and all these other cars.
That's cool and all.
It is, but
you can't put that You can't decipher the two. They are one.
No, you
that
can't.
is one.
It
doesn't matter.
So I will say the storyline or the build up, if you will, for the Aston wasn't great.
Not great. But
the car
it looks good.
Now,
I like it.
I know some people who wanted to see more green on the car.
Me.
I would take more green on the car.
I wanted more of the lime. More of the lime accent. They had that last year, and I really liked the way it looked at a side profile when the car would come around a corner.
Yep.
It had this beautiful line just through it, and they kind of cut that off this year. And maybe it'll come back as they evolve the car, but I'm happy with it. I love that they kept it gloss. They did the green. That green's gorgeous. I
know somebody who's got that green.
That's
somewhere.
a good color. It's a solid color. It's
good
definitely.
color.
Yes.
All right. So Mercedes.
The Mercedes.
Here's where we go to
Let's talk about the Mercedes.
Can't stand it. Can't stand it, man.
I mean,
you're the silver arrows. You have very little silver, if any, on your car.
There's more silver than the year they went all black, which is great.
Great. You just set the bar the lowest you could possibly set it.
Well, they had the red. You remember they had the red before.
The maroon, yeah.
The maroon on the top of the thing to kind of nod to Niki Lauda. And I wish they would have kept that. I thought that was a really cool thing. Or at least somewhere on the car have a red star. Now, I haven't seen that yet. And that may be something on there. I haven't gotten close-up detailed pictures, but
I was looking over here because I've got a Lego, surprisingly.
Oh, a Lego. What? You have a Lego?
I've got a Lego that has the old livery.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So it was mostly black.
A little bit of blue.
Had some silver back here.
That's the year before last. Last year they brought some silver back in.
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, they brought some silver back in last year. And, they're bringing more silver. Cool. I want the car to go back to the full gloss, looks like an arrow.
Well, what I
wanted, I thought that was cool. But
what I really wanted is, have you seen the Black Series AMG GT that was the nod to the Project One or the AMG One?
It was like a silver. Yeah, it was like a. Yeah.
It's silver, and then it fades to black in the back, and it's got the stars all through it.
I feel like they did that in this. I really do.
No. I want it real. There's so much they could have done with this car, and they didn't do it. But here's where the other half of my complaint train comes into effect.
Let's go.
So when we go, I made this joke when we were talking about the lead up to the F1 season.
Okay.
And we were talking about the driver pairings. And my joke was, hey, did you know that Russell is still racing for Petronas because we haven't seen him.
Yeah, it's been all about the new guy.
It's been all about Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
And so what's hilarious is when F1 did the recap, the only interview they showed is with Andrea. They didn't even show George like walking out to the stage, and I was like,
they nodded to him a good bit. They talked about him and Verstappen's beef at the beginning.
Yes, but that was on the long show, on the recap, on the short, short clip, right? They didn't even talk about it. So after I get done watching the short, the recap, I went back and watched the entire thing.
It's great,
and I thought it was good. It was definitely good. Yeah. But and for those of you who haven't seen it yet. There's all this stuff on social media
spice.
Well, there's all this stuff on social media today.
Yeah.
Because they were interviewing Russell.
Yeah.
And he swore on live TV because because the lights were out at the track.
Oh my
in Bahrain.
Gosh.
And they were like $40,000 fine. He won't
be racing this week. Boys, just don't worry about it. You won't see him on track. He didn't even make it to the F1 grid.
What a mess.
All right. Moving along.
Next on the one is Red Bull, and if I was to rank these, this is my least favorite.
I'll say the nod to the car guys was kind of cool, with the drifting and all the cool stuff with that. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
There was a few things I didn't like that they, obviously I know there's a bunch of drama with Christian Horner and all that stuff, but he got a big boo when he came on stage, but he nodded to the original founder and stuff like that, and I thought that was cool.
It is cool, but at the end of the day, these cars, when we talked about it at the beginning, and we said that they don't change much, at least with like the Visa car and the Williams car and some of these other cars, they did change.
Right, but the Red Bull car hasn't changed in years.
Same.
And I love it. You know what? I like it.
Switch it up a little bit.
They know it's good. They like what they like. They know how much that paint weighs. Nothing to worry about. They're going to do great this year.
Says the guy who at the beginning of the show was like, I'd like to see more paint. They should put paint on the whole car.
I mean, they got yellow, blue, some white.
I can't.
All that stuff.
It's
fine. No, the car looks the exact same as last year. Nothing changed.
Nothing.
I was upset with that as well.
I just wanted something.
Just bring it back. Do you remember when the first Red Bull car was and like the whole car was like a bull? Do you remember that?
Yes, but
like the head of the bull was like at the top. I thought that was super cool.
If you look at
historically, this car has been the same.
Yeah, if you look at literally every version of this car, and I've seen them lined up together, they don't change much. What I will say is I would love to see that black, that exposed carbon, replaced with that dark blue.
Yeah.
Because
that's what they did. They did dark blue on this.
Man, they did not do dark blue.
They did the dark blue. It's still there.
It's not the same. No, it's terrible. Like if you look at the early F1 cars, the early F1 Red Bulls, they were like very glossy blue.
Yeah,
like you could tell it was blue and yellow and red.
Yes, I like that. But this was like a dark purple for whatever reason. They've went to that. I liked it better when it was the gloss car too. That car was pretty.
Garbage.
That car was pretty. But anyway, moving along. I'm glad you like it. Here's your boys. Let's talk about
Ferrari.
McLaren.
No, you skipped Ferrari, man. Back it up.
Oh, sorry. Completely missed one here. Yeah, that's because I don't like this car at all.
You really don't like the Ferrari?
No, dude. That blue and white HP on the side of it looks like printer paper. I don't like it at all.
So I do like the Ferrari. I don't necessarily care for the white stripe with the HP on it.
Look at just the massive amount of sponsors they have got on this car this year.
Yeah.
Holy crap, did Hamilton. Hamilton was like, hey, man, I know some guys, and we might have paint on the car.
They do have a lot.
It's aggressively sponsored. I'm thinking they sold the windshield. His visor is 100% going to be.
They may have sold the underside of the car just in case.
It's going to say Fig Newton on it. Yeah. It's gonna say Fig Newton on the wind visor. He's gonna be like, I don't know, but I sure do love my Fig Newton.
Do love my Fig Newtons. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't hate it, and the reason why I don't hate it is because it's almost a Ferrari red, Do you remember a couple years ago when they had that like flat, just
Yeah, that was
dull
when
red?
when Vettel was there. It was like a dull red.
I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Hated
either.
that.
They have
This
brought
is at
some gloss
least
to the table.
this is at least a brighter red. I do like that. You know,
But-
you've got, I mean, but you have everybody on here. IBM,
I mean,
Ray-Ban,
everybody. I think they got competing
Shell.
on one side of the car is everybody that is competing with the other side of the car for sponsorship.
I mean, IBM and HP are both on there together, sitting right next to each
There's
other.
no denying HP right there. They have literally they took over the whole back of the car. I
So
don't like it.
they also took over the whole driving suit, right? So if you look at their outfit, it says HP here, but it also has a huge HP in the stomach.
But they're not even. I noticed something too that was interesting. So it used to be, the manufacturer, Ferrari, Aston Martin, all of this. Not this year. This year, Ferrari was HP Ferrari. That's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember it ever being title sponsors until like the last 2 years or so. Where
Well,
it was like Visa Cash App Red Bulls. You
need that money.
And
So
I
Williams
think it's
isn't Williams
interesting.
anymore.
Yeah, no, it starts with an A. Hold on, I got it. I maybe yeah, it's at I'm gonna mess this up. You picked the wrong guy to try to pronounce this, and we can show you that in another video. Atassin, is that right? Am I saying that wrong?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, Atalassin or something.
So
anybody knows, put it in the comments. I will read it out for you in a better way next time.
it is there, but they're not even Williams anymore. And it's funny because he came out and he said, we're not Williams now. We're a Tassin or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like, that to me kind of is a little bit of a pull to the older guys. Like if you've been around racing for a long time, like kind of hurts because you see that they're getting like sold out. Like these brands that have been around forever are being sold out to these other corporations to obviously feed the racing and obviously big events like this. But come on, man, keep the core. You should.
Dude,
keep
there's
the
a
core.
lot of money. There's a lot of money in F1, and it's getting more and more and more and more every time you turn around. So I'm not shocked.
Dude, you ever seen like the like where the guys like, never mind, it doesn't make sense, but the eyes pop out and they're money symbols. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And I'm thinking that's the cartoon. I cannot post it in here.
Yeah.
Right here, and it's like pa-ching, but like anyways. All right.
So the last one on the grid was McLaren, and they said it before they unveiled the car, and I knew as soon as they said it, I was going to hate it. Is they said that they nodded to last year, and I'm like, no, you didn't nod to last year. No, is this the same car? Because you guys just rolled out the same car.
The graphic designer was like, oh, got it. Yeah, you want something new, something different. I got you. Copy, paste.
And then what he did is he just named it 2.
Yeah, 2.
McLaren livery 2. I'm not. I mean, all the build up, all the build up to the top, 2 of the top 3 cars, all the build up to that, and they turn out to be the exact same cars they were last year.
I mean, look, I can promise you, there's some differences, guys. I know you're going to tear us up in the comments with this. There are differences, and I'll say this: the McLaren does have more black on it than last year, which I think was a bad thing. I like.
I think that car should be all
just
papaya. Orange.
That should be it.
That whole car should be. Papaya
I wish they'd
orange.
get rid of the Google circles on the wheels too. I think it looks horrible.
Think they should get rid of that.
I think it looks horrible.
I'm not a. I don't know.
Chrome circles is just nah.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it when they released it.
I don't know why.
I didn't like it when they released it. I don't like it now. It hasn't changed. Nah.
I like it. It's cool.
Well, I'm glad we can agree to disagree.
Okay.
But yeah. So
we're at the end.
Yes.
Okay. So give me your top one that you liked and your bottom.
Okay.
So which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite?
If they haven't figured it out by now, all right. My top favorite car, I think I'm going to go with the Racing Bulls. I think that's a good looking car. I would say that if we're just going off looks alone, I think that's it. I think they did a really good job. I like the way the car looks, even in the picture, like it just looks cool, just sitting still. My least favorite, if you didn't know already, is Ferrari. I don't think they did a great job with the car.
All right. So
All
we're
right.
not going to be exactly the same, thank God,
That's
because
fine.
it'd be really boring.
Oh, you're gonna change it up.
Yeah, my favorite car, by far, it's not even close, is the Racing Bulls car.
Yeah.
I think they did
Okay.
a great
Cool.
job with it.
Yes.
I think it's very cool.
Great minds do think alike.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is a very cool car. I
Yes.
love what they did with it. And I love
Absolutely.
their new attitude going into the season, that they want to make
Heck
it
yeah.
more of a fan experience and have them get more involved. Like all of that.
Yes.
My least favorite car on the grid is the Red Bull by far.
Okay, and that's cool. I get that. And because it didn't change.
I hate to
And
break it to you, but McLaren is a close second to that. So
that's tough, man. I would think you would love the McLaren. But
I
wow.
want them to change
I'll
it.
say-
Actually, and I'm not going to get up and walk over there, but the Lego model that I have and your wife has, by the way,
Right.
let's get back to that, where it was
Yeah.
blue on top, blue on the
Yes.
bottom, and
That was
orange
cool.
in the middle.
Yes, that was cool.
That is legit.
That's a sick car, man.
Why are we not driving that car?
Dude, yes. When my favorite McLaren, back in yesteryears, they did a nod to the Gulf stuff, and I thought that car looked amazing.
Yeah.
But I like that spec. We talked about that earlier. I will say, obviously, my close second is Aston Martin. I think the car is still gorgeous. Just the look of it. This picture doesn't do it justice because it's a
No,
front
it
end
doesn't.
picture.
I love
but
Aston, and I love the
Aston's cool.
livery.
Yeah.
But I would almost say, because Aston's got a lot, if you see the side profile, it's got a lot
Yeah.
of exposed carbon.
Well,
I would almost say that my second favorite is the Williams car.
the Williams car is great, but it's
Yeah.
not much different than last year. I liked it last year too.
I think
that's a
I
pretty
think it's
color.
I think it's a bit different than last year, honestly.
Well, they got a lot more blue, and that's what I like. They got a lot more color. Just the color alone is cool.
Says
I
the
do
guy who
agree.
just got
I
done
know it's
saying that
tough on
he
that
likes
one.
the Red Bull car, but that's fine.
No, the Red Bull car isn't my top favorite. I do like the car, but I wish they would change it just like you do. But the blue that's in that Williams car is nice. I think that's pretty dope. It's cool.
Yeah. I like all the stuff that's on Atlassian. That's it. Atlassian. There it is.
Atlassian.
Yep. That's
Okay.
the name of that car.
Well, delete all that other stuff that I talked about earlier.
All right. So we've reached the end of the video. If you made it
Yes.
this far into the video, thank you again
Thank you
for
very much.
subscribing. We are we're getting a lot of content this year, not just F1. So if you're looking
Right.
for stuff other than F1, we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. We've got some trips planned to things
Yes.
other than F1. And we've got some builds planned that we're going to actually, get our hands dirty and do some builds on some cars.
Turn
So
some wrenches, people.
that's
Let's
right.
go.
That's right. So if there's more stuff you'd like to see, let us know in the comments.
Yes.
We love interacting with you guys. We love, responding to your funny and your, your interesting comments in there.
Yes.
But make sure you're subscribing, hit
that
the
button.
bell, and make sure you're forwarding this on to your friends. And, on that note, we're done, man.
Hey, this was great. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.